Hi, welcome to this learning recipe. One question, how good is your input testing? So if you have something like the first name, how good do you test it? Or differently said, do you have a standard list of inputs? Do you always use same inputs? Do you use your inputs from a library? Well, if you're not really sure, or even if you are sure, what is the answer to my previous question? I'm going to present to you in this video how to use something known in the testing community as the big list of naughty strings. And you might ask, okay, why is this so special? Well, have a look in this example. This is from Twitter, so it was 0 with space was used on Twitter, and it gave an internal server error. And how big is this list of naughty strings? Well, here you have it in a JSON format, and it's pretty big. It's pretty big. So what we're going to do in this video is basically save this JSON in our project, and then in exactly this form, we're going to enter for the first name the naughty strings until it gives us an error. The good thing about this form here is if I enter anything like test and I submit, there's no validation. This is a bad thing from a testing perspective, but from the purpose of this video, it's perfect because it means I can make a small test. So just navigate to this page, identify this element or this element here, and then click submit, and then try over and over that part. Okay, so let's go to IntelliJ. And I have already saved the list of strings here. You will get it if you just follow the GitHub repository link. And let's write the first part. So we said we wanted to navigate to the page, identify the elements, and well, submit the form. Okay, so navigating to the page is pretty easy and straightforward. So you just do driver.get, and then we copy this URL here. And as for the identification of the web element, so with the web element, what do we have? We have first name and submit. Okay, so we do first name, and then sorry about that, driver find element by. Let's have a look. So it seems to have an ID here. Let's check if the ID is unique. Seems to be unique. Perfect. So identify by ID. And for the submit button, I'm going to do driver find element, and let's see what do we have here. So we have the submit, and let's just go straight forward and copy the class. Do it with the CSS selector. So we remove the spaces from the name, and there you have the selector. Okay, that was fast enough. And let's just do a dry run. So we have first name, and we want to send keys, let's say our test, and then the submit button. So let's run this. And I did an error here. Okay. Oops. Now it's good to run. So let's run this. That's why it's good to always have an IDE. In case you do bad stuff, it tells you. So it should open the page, and it was a little bit too fast, but it actually did the job. Okay, so Now we want to work with the list of notice strings. And how do you do that? Well, first things first, I did an update, and this is also for you in case you are copying the code or are getting the code from the GitHub repository. So in the POM.xml of the Maven, for the Maven, I added this dependency here. So we'll just need to copy this, or if you copy the whole POM.xml into your application and just go to Maven and rebuild, then you will have also this JSON simple dependency. So what we're going to do here is basically we're going to read the file and replace this test part with the string from our strings, our list of notice strings. Okay, so first things first, for this we need a JSON parser, new JSON parser, and afterwards we're going to do a file reader. What should we call it? Reader. And then we're going to go and say new file reader, and we're going to give it the name to our list of strings. So let's just copy that and make it here. And what doesn't IntelliJ like? Yeah, we need to add some exceptions. Okay, and so basically now we have a way to parse the XML. Oh, sorry, not the XML, the JSON, and we're parsing the list of strings. And what we're going to do next is have the JSON object, have it converted to an array because it's well easier to work with arrays. And then we're going to continue. So we have here the object, let's say JSON parser, and we're going to say JSON parser, and we're going to say parse, please parse this reader. And now for the other part, where we're going to take this JSON parser. So we're going to use that to parse into array. So we have JSON array, yeah, and then we give it a name. Let's say string array, and we have JSON array, and the name for our JSON parser, JSON parse. Okay, and let's see what does IntelliJ like. Want some exceptions, perfect. Okay, so basically with these 4 lines, we have a way to parse, to take the JSON and parse it so that it has then a string of arrays. And right now we can make our test in 2 ways. Either we generate a random number based on the string or based on the size of the elements in the array, and then we give that as an input, or we can try the hard approach and do a for loop, basically say for all the elements in the string array, we're going to perform this part here. Okay, just need 1 second. Okay, so let's go for have an int e which equals 0, and then we say I is smaller than the string array size, and we're just going to increment this by 1 on each time. Oh, and what doesn't it like? I didn't like that use comma, of course. Okay, so we're almost there, but not quite. Okay, put it in the wrong place. So first we need to actually say what we have here. We have a value that we want to send, and that is basically the string array, and it's the dot string array get item, get the one and the actual value. So it's string and the value, and that value we cast it as a string to make sure it is a string. And whoops, and then we get the value for each iteration. There is one other issue here. The problem is, so we basically were going through the JSON, but when we click on the submit, we are on this page. So on the next iteration, when we try to input something, it won't work. So that's why we need also a back. Okay, so let's do driver dot navigate dot back. Okay, so let's do one test here, and then we're going to basically let it run through all of the list. And where are we? We are here. Okay, perfect. So let's stop this and let's let it navigate through all of the list. But first, let me close the other instances. Okay, we run it and we see the magic. I don't think it will run through all of the strings, but here it seems that it would have it all in one, but it actually enters one by one. And at one point it will give us an error because some of these strings are not really, let's say, compatible with the input from Selenium. So what you can take from this video is you have the list of naughty strings. You have a way to use the list either in automation, so basically to parse the JSON. But you can, of course, use it in your exploratory and manual testing. And there you will have no issues with any of these items. So the list at the moment has 516 items. But as time passes, it may grow. It hasn't grown in the past half a year, but well, who knows. As always, thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one. Bye-bye.